more or less why he couldn't make it today and things like that. So don't worry, he is around. He's working hard for the DAO, but he had to take some time away for some other stuff, and he just got back from Italy and everything as well. So he needs to take a breather. He is slowly getting back to work, but for now, he is unable to join us due to some technical limitations and things like that, things like not being at his home computer and all that sort of stuff and being all plugged in. So that's perfectly fine. We will carry it for this week, but next week, hopefully he will be back. We may be doing it on a different day, but besides that, he will be back. We will get to it. I've got a bunch to show you guys today in regards to what's been happening with Alluvium, the DAO, and everything else. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got some awesome stuff to show off. So let's just jump straight into it. Window. Let me make sure I grab the right window, or it'll be real weird. All right, here we go. We're opening up with all of the leaks of the episode, or at least most of them, and then there's a few more. But Grant says this is the only Alluvial that goes dark hollow at will. And I don't know what he means by that, because obviously when it leaves the clone behind, the clone is dark hollow, okay? Where it flexes dark hollow on and off. What I find interesting is the Alluvial that's doing all the attacking, the not clone, is not dark hollow at all. It's not showing that off. And I don't know if that's because in Ascendant, hollows and things don't show that they're hollow, because that would maybe impact kind of the way the game looks and make it harder for people to play and things like that. But that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from all that. Hey, Mel, how's it going? Hey, Justin. Hey, from New York. I am from Australia. Nice to meet you. Okay, so we've got some more leaks here. I'm not going to go through them all like crazy. I really don't like these hairless Doka ones. They kind of freak me out a bit, to be completely honest. These emotes are looking sick. People love the Ramfire emote with the with the chef's hat and everything. I do think it's pretty funny. This is one of my favorite leaks of the episode 2, where one of the drone blasts has actually been made. It's a great effect. It's not over the top, not crazy. It's really, really cool. I am absolutely loving it. Hey, TSG, how's it going, man? I really like this one as well. I don't think it's fully rendered out, but I love how he's holding the fire in his hand. It's awesome. I love how they're doing things like this and just giving them real personality. It's absolutely incredible. But he has hair, thankfully. Dimitri did not post an animated Scoriox, so that really bugged me. Dimitri, I'm looking at you. How could you? I know you've totally done it already. The Fiery and Furiox look absolutely sick. You got the Fiery there and the Furiox. They're so cool. I just noticed this for the first time, but you can see the little like bulges in his, I want to say chest, down the length of his body. When he's breathing and stuff, and you could see the air going through that. That is absolutely insane. That is some next level of detail. And the new borders for the cards. For anyone who doesn't notice the difference, the big thing is they're a lot more consistent now. So Adorius was nature air. It's spore, obviously. But that meant that there was a lot more white in the border. But they're keeping them a lot more consistent. Also, this way, that would mean that Adorius, Adorido, and Adore would all have the same color border by the looks of it, but it's not completely like that because this isn't like a purely red border or anything like that. So maybe they are still going to differ slightly between stages, but not be like a crazy gradient or anything. And I suspect this fits into the game and the UX and the UI more than anything here. So I think if they made this change, they've definitely got a good reason for it. Let's put it that way. Congrats on his anniversary. Yeah, big congrats to Tarrant on his anniversary. If you didn't see it on Twitter, Alluvium shouted out Tarrant and gave him a big congrats on his anniversary. Don't forget to go and celebrate that and leave a comment on that tweet. Hey, Soda, how's it going? Hey, Glenn. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You guys should probably tell me how you guys find the stream, because I usually have 3 or 4 people waiting. Then about 5 minutes in, a bunch of people join. Does it give you like an extra notification when my stream actually goes out and all that sort of stuff? I'd love to hear from you guys. Help me get some better insight into how this all works. This one here, Cynics, I don't believe was the one who created this or posted it first or anything like that. But this was posted in the past and Cynics is rehashing it. And I absolutely love this battle board. I can't wait to play on the beach battle board. And there's another one here from Dr. Spoon. I believe they came from the same place. I'm still not sure where that place is. It might have been from the showcase. Just screenshotting from the showcase. But I absolutely love this battle board. and that's usually based on the actual terrain. I'm excited to explore Halcyon Sea. It's gonna be a fun level. It's gonna be awesome. All right. The next thing we're going to jump into is the Alluvium Beyond v3.1 update. And a bunch of things came with this update. I'm not going to go too crazy because I'm going to do a whole video on this right after I finish this stream. But basically, the extended leaderboard, discs SFX, the alpha stamps, and high-res Alluvatars. Now, some of these are hard to show off the bat, but I do want to show off the alpha stamp. So you can see with the Wave 1 stamp, we've got the silver stamp right there. I zoom into it. Not really doing a whole lot. You can see the alpha stamp right there. It looks absolutely awesome. And if we go to wave 2, it will take a little while to load. How's it going, Ask Matt? As you were live. Interesting, Glenn. I appreciate it. And you can see the gold alpha stamp for the wave 2 Alluvatars. But you can see that the alpha Alluvatar symbol on both of them looks to be exactly the same. No, it is different. It is silver for the it's silver for the Wave 1 Alluvatars and gold for everything else. And I think it's quite nice. I like it. I wasn't a whole big part of that entire discussion regarding Wave 1 getting a special stamp and all that. I didn't really understand it myself, but I'm glad the community went out there and put forward some discussion points, and it went through and got approved by the council. So great, the DAO, the system works. And we'll talk about more on that a little bit later. This one is really interesting. So new rules. Let's see if I can find it quickly. So Unity is changing their pricing and plans. Let me just make sure I'm on the right spot. So they're changing their entire pricing system plans. For anyone that doesn't know what this is about, it is about this Unity runtime fee, which they want to start adding from January 1, 2024. The fact that it's retroactive is pretty messed up in my opinion, but there's a lot to this. I haven't seen anyone that's happy about the change. Let me put it that way. But adding a fee to any product is going to make people upset. That's just the nature of it. But whether it's fair or just is another discussion altogether. And I'm not going to be delving into it. I might make a separate video on it if you guys want to see that, but I'm not going to be going hard. But the big thing is that on any Unity, anything built in Unity, they're going to apply a fee every single time someone installs a game. Now, why this is important is because for Illuvium 0, it runs on Unity. So the game, Overworld and Arena, they both run on Unreal Engine, I believe, but Illuvium 0 runs on Unity. I don't know exactly why that is, but I don't think it's a coincidence that Illuvium 0 is our mobile offering. And I believe a lot of major, when you look up like the top 20 Unity games, like 19 of them are mobile games, right? So I think it's a lot easier to build mobile on Unity than it is on Unreal Engine. And from my own experience, that would make sense. I think Unity is pretty big in that. So what Johnny says is that although we don't see this model have any notable effect on Illuvium 0 for users who have purchased land plot NFTs, we may need to change some aspects of the planned free-to-play version of the game. It's worth noting that I remember seeing on the blog post that this runtime fee won't start to kick in until you generate 200K in revenue from that Unity project, my understanding. So it wouldn't even kick in for all... It depends how they calculate it, how we disclose it, and things like that. Hard to say. But they may need to change some aspects of the planned free-to-play version, which sucks. But it might be as simple as they need to charge it for 99 cents. If it was me and I knew kind of the full big picture, that's kind of where I would lean towards myself, but it's hard to say. But before any kind of decision, we need to get a clear set of the rules. There's a good chance Unity backtracks some stuff as well. So this is just like a time will tell, but it shouldn't really impact anything. And it's not going to impact anything for the next 6 to 8 months at least, in my opinion. So don't be too stressed about it. Don't worry about it. It should be all good. Get a notification to join. Appreciate it, Justin. Not silver for wave 1. It's Oberium. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, so the wave 1 stamp is actually an Oberium texture. And these are high-res Alluvatars now, so we should be able to see this. I've got my zoom thing. Oh, it is too. It's got the little effects and things like that. It's kind of hard to show up on this, but if I bring this up, yeah, you can see very, very clearly that is an Oberium alpha stamp. Appreciate that, Nippe. Glad I was able to show it off. Is it possible to convert a Unity game to a UE5 game? I wish I could answer that for you and tell you from the bottom of my heart that I know, but I am not a game developer. Now, I haven't heard of many instances of people doing that, which is quite interesting. So I don't think it's easy. In my experience, you would pretty much have to recode everything. You might be able to bring some stuff over, but they might use a different coding structure and coding language. I know that Unreal Engine has a really good interactive coding setup with all the lines and drags and all that sort of crap. So even though you probably could convert it, it's not as simple as a one-click fix or anything like that. It would take a lot of work for whoever is doing so. And then you've got to think about all the knock-on effects. If you're still trying to build the thing, then do you build it on Unreal and just let that get converted? Build it on Unity and let that get converted? Or do you try and build new aspects on Unreal while you're converting all the Unity project? So for a game in development, very, very difficult. After a game is being finished, developed, and it's a complete project, maybe more doable, but still not fun by any means. So, but we'll probably learn more about that soon, as I suspect many will leave Unity and move to Unreal. And maybe Unreal, if they're smart, they'll build a way to port it over really quickly, which should make them a ton of money. All right, so we'll jump on to the next one. We have a tech update. I haven't actually read this one yet. So he sent this like 2 days ago from Julian. A lot of stuff has been saying, but he wants to say that this is the 2 weeks interval is exceptional, and I do want to keep the updates weekly. They've redone their game data format. Oh, which is sick. I love data. I love spreadsheets and things. Half the time, I'll make like a V3 of a spreadsheet, and I might as well have just started over. There's so much different. But that's just me being a nerd. So I'm just reading the chats right now. They will become a monopoly, pretty much so. I mean, there are other engines and things. A lot of the large studios actually have their own. I think a notable one's probably EA. EA has pretty much built their own engine that only they can use and stuff, which is pretty cool. But they would definitely be an even bigger player in the market, especially since their fees, they have similar fees. They've always had this incentive structure, although it works differently. It's not every install, it's just every user. But the fees are a lot lower. I think I've seen some comparisons between the two. So plot level is finally getting a tangible use via reward milestones. That's really exciting. Can't wait for that stuff. We've got an initial tutorial design for new players. Also sick. Quality of life with the beta alongside new features. I think really for launch, quality of life is probably the big one. So I think they've hit the nail on the head. Besides maybe some sort of rating function or really strong daily setup. But they've already got that built in. They just haven't really activated it yet, which is pretty sick. So they're switching to a JSON format, which is a pretty standard database setup. The big thing with the JSON format is it's really easy to build APIs and things, or at least it enables you to build APIs. I don't know how hard it is. A lot more human readable for the devs, like I just said. Yeah, so that's really exciting that they're improving it back end and front end. Very, very cool. New features, a new authentication flow that makes it simpler to access the game. This might enable some sort of rental. Fingers crossed, probably not. In preparation for free to play, fair enough. But a big quality of life change. No more challenges when you log in. This is a big thing for mobile games. I've seen some mobile games have some weird stuff. But this is normally one that if you're going to be a big mobile game, they fix this first. So it's pretty good with getting that. Straight access to your wallets to facilitate blockchain operations. Sweet. Integrate, available for all our products. So they're building a lot of things that are going to go into the other aspects of Illuvium. So very, very exciting. They've done the final blueprint minting testing. A few little UX things they got to fix, but there's no date decided yet, so don't ask me. But it looks good. It looks like they're pretty close. it could come really fast. So keep an eye on this chat. They normally pin it. Double check every day. All right. They're trying to get the 150 plus alluvials in the game looking fly. Don't forget our holographic statues just have a handful at the moment. It'll have an impact on our scanning and research operations, as you guys probably already know. There's still a lot to do, but that was a great update. I wish I read it beforehand so I could distill it a bit better and not have so many pauses. But this is where we are. So read the messages in just a minute. Expecting delays for the PvP and open beta release. Soda thinks it's safe to assume a 6-month delay, and he wouldn't be mad about it. I'm not sure. A PvP, hard to say if it'll be delayed or not. I'm still hopeful for the end of September. But if it gets delayed, I just hope it's not more than like 2 or 3 weeks. That's kind of more where I'm at. As for open beta, as long as it's not delayed past Q1 2024, I'd be pretty happy. I still hope it's at the end of the year. But there are a bunch of overworld private betas before then. So it's not like we're going to be like waiting 6 months before the next beta to come out. Like there's a lot of releases up until now, before now and then. So there's still a lot to consider for sure. So I don't think it's a big deal either. Glenn is happy to assume that it will be launched until until they say it isn't. So that's cool. That's kind of where my head's at. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is this MVP thing. And Kieran especially, but everyone in the Illuvium community was pushing to help us top the leaderboard. And here it is. We did not manage to win against Cross the Ages. If you guys haven't played Cross the Ages, it's actually a lot of fun. It's a great mobile game. I really, really like it. It's definitely one of the gold standards when it comes to Web3 mobile games. Let me put it that way. So happy that they're the one that beat us. The one before was Axie. If they beat us, I would have been mad, but it is what it is. So I'm going to try and figure out the best way to find all the other polls. Oh, crap. That was the wrong way to do it. Hold on. Let me go back to this. That was definitely the wrong way to do it. Okay, click MVP. We could see the bracket. Here you go. Cross the Ages ended up winning, but here we go. So Cross the Ages defeated whoever the hell this is. I think it's Champions Arena, who beat Gods Unchained, and whatever the one crossed down there, and Ember Sword lost. Echo. I haven't played Echo, heard good things. But there's a lot of games here. Sandbox managed to beat Spider Tanks, which I thought was really, really surprising. Axie Infinity beat whatever this game is, Legend something, and then beat Sandbox, which makes sense. Alluvium destroyed whatever the hell that game is, and then beat Star Atlas. I don't even think it was close, but I'll double check. Don't worry. And then we managed to beat Axie Infinity on the buzzer and then lost to Cross the Ages. A really bad logo. I wish they put just the icon maybe. I don't know. That's kind of, I don't like that. I don't like that logo that much. Sorry. Sorry, Cross the Ages. Got a little podium there. I love it. MVP's done a good work here. Some great work. And it is notable that Cross the Ages and Alluvium are both Immutable X projects. So that's really hype. I can't find the votes themselves. I don't know why. There you go. Champions are Cross the Ages. It only just win with 2,000 votes. We only just won with 3,000 votes against Axie Infinity. And the final one was like 6,000 votes. So it kept growing. It kept growing. Very exciting for Web3 in general. Very, very exciting. Cross the Ages destroyed Big Time. That was one of those games there. Champions only just beat Gods Unchained, but only 64 votes. How crazy is it how quickly it ramped up? Axie beat Sandbox. These are all 60 votes, so it's kind of hard to see. But Alluvium beat Star Atlas thanks to that 40 people that voted. Jesus. All right, and you guys can kind of see how that one turned out. The next thing we'll take a look at is the Squiz Alluvial preview. Now, I'm going to leave the sound off so that you have to go and watch the actual video. I will also post it in the chat right here. People only cared about us beating Axie. Very, very true. That's very possible. Okay. So let's take a quick peek at this. He's done it. Andrew has just done it again. Same high quality like everything else. You can see Squiz here wiggling his little thing. I know that Andrew has quite a few of these in the pipeline, so get excited to see more of them. They're really, really awesome. Climbs any surface with suckers and slips into coral on Halcyon Sea. Can't wait to see him in the overworld. And he's a little zappy boy. Andrew's narrating this whole thing. It's absolutely sick. I'm not going to show the entire video. I love these things. They're so cool. But he's heavy on damage, and I can tell you that he is useless everywhere else. He does not do a thing. All right. The last thing we'll take a look at is the exclusive Alluvium Zero Battleboard rewards, revised regional skin IIP. For some minor context, damn it. For some minor context, the original IIP was to give a regional-based ranger skin to each of the different regions if you had a plot of land. In this proposal, it's even a little bit deeper. You have to get next to 7. I don't know if that was in the original proposal. I don't think it was, but it might have been. And simply put, you get a battle board if you have a plot of land, and it's a thank you for being early in the ecosystem, especially with all the delays and things like that. So it's kind of just like a good faith thing from the DAO. That's kind of how it's viewed. There's a lot to it. As I said in my other discussions, I think it's an interesting one because when you think about it, when you really think about it, the other parts of Alluvium seemingly have got more attention in terms of exclusive rewards and things like that. But that being said, Alluvium Zero players did get early access to the game and stuff. But I would appreciate if everyone went to this channel and put forward your own vote, upvote, downvote, depending on how you feel about it. Here's the proposal here. If we look at the simple summary, basically give them a battle board reward if they reach level 7 Nexus after the conclusion of the minting window for Alpha. So one battle board redemption token will actually be dropped to the qualifying wallets, and the battle board will be made at the team's leisure. So there's no rush on this, and hopefully it's not like forcing the team to do anything too quickly or anything like that. I don't know how hard this ERC20 token will be and all that sort of thing, so I don't want to get into the weeds of that. Even if it's just there's no IOU and it's just backdated and there's a snapshot of some kind, I think that would be a good way to do this and just not force this to be made too fast or anything like that. I think that's important. Then at an appropriate time after public open beta, as I said, and there will be NFTs, like most things in the Illuvium ecosystem. So yeah, that's that one. So definitely go in there, drop a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever works for you. And yeah, I really appreciate it. So that's all I've got. I say that's all I've got, but it took me 20 minutes to go through everything happening in the Illuvium ecosystem right now. I'm going to read a few more chats before I jump off. Oh, how do I pop it out? I can pop it out, right? There it is. There we go. Oh, it's not gonna show any of the new ones. That's fine. I'm gonna leave it off for now. So Soda thinks that waiting for interest to come back and giving us more time to polish the game might be better. Glenn's upset that Beyond got a lot of exclusive rewards and things like that. It has been clearly communicated. Nippo mentions that there should not be rewards for early adopters. That's very fair. I think that has been pretty fairly communicated for the most part. Delays are often better than too early. I couldn't agree more. I have played games recently that were too early and left a sour taste in my mouth, especially when they like release a beta and then take it off again. That shit's the worst. I can't. It's starting to really shit me, to be honest. Crystal is very self-impatient and wants the game, very impatient and wants the game ASAP. And Nippe is against landowners squeezing out value from the DAO in that kind of way. Honestly, it's not really about that for me. I think the community and people in general have every right to put forward proposals and make their own proposals. It's an important part of the entire DAO system. And there's enough sentiment that people want this to happen that it's going to go through to a vote. And then the DAO continues to do its work. The community sub council will say yes or no. Likely yes, if the community is very vehemently for something like this. And then one of the other councils will vote yes or no based on if they think it will benefit the DAO, they think it's a bad idea, if they think it sets a bad precedent, like you're saying, Nipe. And then it goes up to the IMC and they make the final call. And that's just how the DAO system works. And I think that's important. And that's just what's happening right now. If you want to vote it down and say that you don't think it's a good idea, then also great. And I think it's very important that everyone does that. So yeah, have a good one, guys. I hope you guys appreciated this stream. I'm going to be making so many videos today. I'm so tired. Have a good one. Hopefully I'm playing Starfield soon. So don't forget to follow my Twitch. I will be anytime. I've decided anytime I play any video game ever, I'm going to go live on Twitch. At a minimum, maybe YouTube, depending on how preemptive it is, how predetermined my stream is. If it's on the spur of the moment, something like just Starfield or something, it'll be on Twitch. If you want to hang out, jump on my Twitch.